going to VAR. They're checking.
Hey, Kai.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yo, my peoples. We are back again for another episode of the VARBAR podcast. And boy, we're deep into the Euros. We're doing game week number 2. Obviously, some group stages are now done at the time of recording. What my people? What we saying, boys? What we saying?
Yes, people.
Active, man.
Hey, what's good, man? We back.
Do you know what? Like, let's not waste time. We're going to go straight into it. Obviously, we had the whole build-up for England against Scotland. What an absolute snooze fest that was, man. And a massive disappointment, I think.
Snooze fest? For me, it wasn't,
It wasn't.
I can't lie.
Bro, you're telling me a 0-0? Like, come on. I got to see goals. I'm sorry.
It was quite a competitive game, though.
Yeah, for me, it was exciting, man.
That game was dry for me, man. Boy.
It was tense as well.
It was only dry for people who wanted England to win without realizing that Scotland are a good team.
Shalom. We watched 90 minutes and it finished 0-0. What's that about?
Now you wanted England to sweep Scotland. It's not going to happen. It's a
Not
derby,
even
man.
that, you know. Like,
It's a
I
derby.
always want like the Great Britain team to do well, man.
Before you go into it, I just want to say to Shalom, if Scotland scores first, England have to bounce back, but none of that. If Scotland even scored first, you're saying You're saying I wanted England to pam Scotland. No, I wanted goals. If even Scotland scored first, that would have made England react, but they didn't.
But the thing is,
because there was no goals, it wasn't exciting. I thought it was exciting.
There could be good. There could be good games with no goals, man.
Yeah, man.
This wasn't one of them, though, man.
Let it rip.
Hey, man, like I said, didn't it? Like, I always, whenever England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland are playing, innit, I'm always rooting for any of those teams, innit? And obviously just so happened that England were playing Scotland. Obviously, I got a lot of love for some of the Scotland team, innit? So I was obviously hoping for like a very competitive game from an England standpoint, from a standpoint of a team that went into the tournament expecting to be one of the best teams in the world. I was very, very underwhelmed by the performance again. Like, and the thing is, like, I'm one of those people that, like, it's difficult for me to like look at how players play for their club and then see what they're doing on the international stage and not be frustrated. Like, it's one of those ones where, like, Foden is obviously coming off a great season, Kane's coming off a great season, and in fairness, you know what? I don't want to pinpoint or pick too much at the England players. I'm going to keep it 100. Like, I'm unhappy with the system that's being played, and I'm unhappy with what the manager's doing. Like, for starters, Kane's the best player England have in it, like by a country mile. Like, I can probably count on one hand how many touches, like in the final third, Kane has had over the last 2 games. Like, Kane, people are saying, Kane thinks he's a quarterback, he thinks he's this. The only reason Kane's coming to the halfway line to get the ball, because that's the only time he can touch the ball in the game. Like, I find it so difficult that you spend all this time in training, you have training camp, all of this stuff, getting ready for a tournament, and then you don't know how to get your best player involved in the play. Like, it's extremely frustrating. Like, for me, Raheem Sterling, he was the match winner. Everybody was like, Raheem the Dream, we're back. He's the guy again. Second game of the tournament, Scotland, he throws out another stinker, and he basically reverts back to the player that we all thought he was going into the tournament. Like, it's just very, very underwhelming. I don't feel as if the England team really know what's going on. And another thing I'm going to say as well that's been quite frustrating for me is everyone's talking about balance. You need Declan Rice, you need Phillips, etc., etc. In this group stage particularly, I feel as if you only really need one of those players, because if you're going into a game and you're the better team, be confident enough to, say, let Phillips take that role, and can we get a player who's more progressive on the ball? Because Declan Rice, as techie as he is, as neat as he is for West Ham, that man is scared of the ball. That man is scared to bring the ball forward. I've not seen Declan Rice on the edge of the opposition box once in 180 minutes, man. Very underwhelming, very disappointing performance.
Before we go to one of your monologues, Toss, I'm going to cut you there, because obviously I know how frustrated you were with the result and how, as you're voicing your opinion there. But I'm just about to throw a massive curveball to the lads, and I really want to hear this from the men, I should say, that have had this guy as their manager. It looks like, and I mean, disagree with me if you think so, but England may not have a plan B. Would England suit Jose Mourinho? So Spurs and United fans, let me hear from you, man.
No,
No.
What are you talking
Not at all,
about,
man.
man?
Because if you think about it,
100%
ever
no.
since Jose Mourinho gets results, if he's the man that does a tournament for England and gets some results, do you not think?
Absolutely not, man.
Because the only reason I pose this question to you lot, do you think Southgate knows a plan B or how to dig out a result?
This is like the most exciting time for England in a long time in terms of the young players coming through, the way of playing. Jose would just kill that, man. He'd tell them he wouldn't play half of them. I know obviously people can talk about Southgate selections, and I agree with Toast in what he said, but having Jose as England manager, like you won't see any football at all. So
I personally think that everyone's just they're blowing their load way too much over that performance, man. I think it's
Well, have a load of this one.
No, I think it's don't get me wrong in it. Like
Barman, get the foot scratchings.
No, I've got don't get me wrong. There's criticisms there. I think I was the first one to say in the chat, talking about how in the game against Scotland, there's no need to play Phillips and Rice. But the reality is, like, other than probably Italy and maybe Belgium when Kevin De Bruyne came on, there hasn't been any very exciting. Even yesterday, France drew again to Hungary. No one expected that. No one was talking about the man. Like, I almost think that people are hoping
the France
to see
thing,
too much.
The France thing, though.
We'll get to the games,
sorry,
other teams,
okay.
but let's
Alright,
just keep it England.
Just in terms of the whole England thing, yes, do I think there's problems, and I think it's very evident to see. However, like if anyone like actually understands the way like the rivalry set between Scotland and England, they know that Scotland came there and played for their lives.
Yeah, because them were celebrating.
Exactly.
So this whole concept of English should have been bro. These man came and defended for their and they played well. Like shout out to Billy Gilmore, by the way, because
Billy Gilmore, Kieran Tierney, Andy Robertson.
Bro, that Lyndon Dykes, I don't understand that Johnny, bro.
He's horrible.
Wow.
But
yeah.
Apart from
do I get the criticism? Of course I do. I understand what everyone's expecting because we have such an exciting team. However, like, look, in 2 games we haven't lost.
I think well, England weren't adventurous enough. I understand that.
But do you not remember, like, everyone's worry before the tournament was that England could see too many goals.
Yeah.
So it's almost how you want to look at it. Is the cup half empty or half full? When we've not conceded in 2 games, yet no one wants to talk about the defensive side of things. Everyone's talking about we need to throw attacking players to it.
No one in this chat was expecting England to concede against Scotland, Croatia, and
they were. What are you talking about?
Come on, Kenna. This is England.
You think Croatia? We lost against Iceland. We lost against Iceland in the World Cup 2-1. What are you talking about?
That was 6 years ago.
We can concede against. I don't understand what you're talking about England. No one expected that. Come on, man. Come on.
Without jumping into the France situation, so Ken, you expected France to concede against Hungary?
No. I'm saying that wasn't. I'm a big England critic, so my expectation of what Charles said, that wasn't my expectation. My expectation has always been England will get through either first or second. We all agree it's going to happen. It's a case of when it comes to the big boys, that's when the defensive issues will come out. I don't expect England to concede against in the group stages or to struggle to concede. It's the big boys that I'm going to worry about. So, but I kind of get.
But you know what? In some ways, Kenny, I feel like England might do better against the bigger sides.
When a team come on to them,
counter-attack. I think it will suit them more. I think England struggle to break teams down, and when teams are playing with a deep block, they find it hard, but with a bit more spacing behind.
So let's analyze the big teams.
But they're basically united.
Let's analyze the big teams left. Then France, you're getting 0 space, so remove them. Italy, they press to death, and with England and these players, they're gonna get found out. Spain, maybe. Holland,
Belgium, fair.
Belgium. Okay, Belgium, you can get at Belgium. But in terms of France, you're not getting at them because they're sitting deep. They
you think you can get at Italy though? Italy, I think
the way they press
with pace.
The way they press.
Yeah.
Unless you play Henderson or someone that's used to it, because that Rice is getting moved to.
Drew. Let's look at it this way. It's gonna be one of Germany, Portugal, or France. Let's focus on that. That's the next round, right? Which one of them?
Hey, wait! Before you get into that, Kenna, you are telling me on Twitter the streets are saying Southgate wants to finish second.
Bro, I told you, man. I told you this.
Oh,
Who will he face if he finish second? Who's the option? What's the options?
We finish second. We play the winner of France's group.
No,
Winner.
this is the stupid thing about that logic is that if we finish second, we play, I think it's the second place team in Spain's group. But if you
Okay.
win that game, you then need to play the winner of Group F, which is France, Portugal, and Germany.
I'm pretty sure you don't play at Wembley too. So
Yeah. So you might as well win your group, play them the harder game first, and then you get the easier quarter, which is, I think, probably Spain or
You
whoever's
have to
going
be
to win
in
their
it to play in the quarters, brother. You have to be in it to play in the quarters. Finish second and then take care of who you need to take care of. That's what I've always said that.
Yeah.
well, you disagree, Andy?
I don't know, man. Let's see. But I'm
I
just
just
saying.
think
I'm just saying.
there's no need to panic, innit? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think
Not yet.
momentum's important, man. You need to win your games. Like, fuck
Facts.
trying to finish second, finish top, build momentum, go into the
That's it,
knockouts,
man.
and then go from there.
Perez, you were quite vocal leading up to this game, saying obviously what Shalom was saying that people probably expected England to whitewash Scotland, but obviously the opposite happened. What was your analysis of that game?
Yeah, that was my expectation coming in, man. I can't lie to you, especially after Scotland's performance against Czech Republic, man. Like, yeah, they created a couple of good chances, and they at rare points in the game they look threatening, but their overall general play, they're just a dry team. They're just a dry team. You can get at them, you can score goals, and Scott McTominay in the back three or whatever it is that they play. I expected more from the firepower that England have going forward as well. I really did expect more from them, and I did expect. I said 3 minimum. I said 3 goals minimum from England against Scotland, and we didn't even get a goal. So obviously, I'm going to maintain the same energy in terms of where we should be holding England in terms of expectations and the mediocrity. We need to let go of that mentality, man, because we have the talent, we have the squad. It's just about utilizing it and getting your best players to play. So we weren't able to do that, and as a result, we draw 0-0 to Scotland. So here's what it is, man.
So as we now round up the end of Group D, the final fixtures are on Tuesday evening as England play Czech Republic at Wembley, and obviously Croatia play Scotland at Hampden Park. I mean, what are we saying? Is a straight 3 points for England, or
not at all?
Not at all. Definitely not at all.
Definitely another good tough game, man.
You want to see if Southgate's learned his lessons. Like, is he going to play just one Calvin and Declan? If it's a case of it's 0-0 in the 60th, 65th minute, is he going to make attacking subs? Like, he brought on Rashford for Kane, even though we couldn't get in behind them because Scotland were defending so deep. It's exactly what the Czechs are going to do. So are we going to do that again, where he's just going to keep repeating his mistakes, because then we're just going to be going insane?
He's got to bring Sancho involved, I think, personally.
He won't pick Sancho. If it was a 23-man squad, I'm telling you now, he would not have taken Sancho. 100%.
Can we discuss that, please? Because I
don't understand the logic behind it.
This is getting a bit weird, man. Not even a minute of football to his name.
Especially
2 games.
as he is the best right winger we have.
And he's the most in form.
Yeah, every other attacking midfielder we've got all really favour the left, apart from Sancho, who is a right winger by trade. Is it a Vendetta? Is he not showing it during
Premier League
games?
bias.
That Southgate doesn't know how to use his most creative players, man.
And that plays into it.
And Sancho. That's what it is, man.
He said something wild as well about like not wanting to put too much pressure on young players who ain't got experience. He's almost trying to make excuses. I don't know.
Yo, this Don has played over 120 minutes worth of football over the last 3 years, and he's saying he's inexperienced.
Yeah, it's mad.
Crazy, man.
And he's playing Foden every game.
Crazy.
What's so stupid is just dumb. It's just stupid. Yeah, I think he's just doing that to manage the expectations of the media, because it's obviously he's not doing it well. But yeah, he's got to play him in it, especially against a deep block where I think Sancho probably has, in terms of he doesn't probably rely that much on spacing behind, as opposed to probably people like Sterling, Rashford, and the rest. So you got to play him against a team that's going to sit back and
and you know what's mad? I think throughout definitely our social media platform, we've shown how well Sancho links up with Haaland, the 1-2s around the box, the interchanges. Kane would live off someone who works off his movement, coming short and linking together. So yeah, he has to get minutes, especially if we struggle to break down Croatia, let's say in the first 60 minutes. Sancho has to come on.
So someone there mentioned, obviously Phil Foden's been starting each game. In this final game, lads, do we see any changes? Do we see anyone getting dropped? Obviously,
Jack Galad, Sam, got to bring him on. You got to play him. You got to start him.
Sterling and Foden come off the bench. Honestly, like I don't feel as if their performances in the first 2 games warrant another start. To be honest, I mean, I feel as if players who haven't had the minutes deserve some game time at this point. I think we're in a pretty safe position in the group. Like he gives some of these players some confidence. Like don't take off Kane and bring on Rashford just to put him in the same position. They're not the same player. They're not in the same position. So like just make the right changes. You know what I mean? But again, I think he'll probably play the same team.
Yeah, he will.
So
You
I
reckon?
agree. Yeah,
What do you think about the fullback
He's got a freshen
situation?
up.
He has to switch up, but he will play the same team. I just have that feeling.
I think he's got to bring Walker back in, personally. I don't think James done that well against Scotland, in my eyes. I think he was very substandard.
Because that pivot of Rice and Calvin Phillips, it can be boring at times. And when you need to break a team that has like a low block, you need a better and a more creative midfielder who can drive the ball, who can pass it.
Shalom, do you think that Calvin Phillips, in comparison to the first game against Croatia, he was a little bit more tentative? Like you didn't really see the forward runs like he was making in the first game.
Yeah, I kept telling. I think I was speaking to a friend about this. I just said, I know everyone is hyping Phillips, but we need to see him play more before we decide whether he's that great of a midfielder that everyone is hyping about. But the problem is with the Scottish game, I didn't think that pivot should have been employed. I think he should have been creative. He should have been positive, but he didn't.
Besides that, Shalom, it didn't even work. Because the space between the 2 DMs and the centre backs were massive. At Scotland, Billy Gilmore always picked out, what's his name? Che Adams, who was right in there in that space, was huge for several times. So it didn't even work, whatever Southgate.
I also think he's not dealing well with the pressure. And there is lots and lots of pressure being an England manager. And he has to be brave. And he isn't being brave.
He's out of it after this tournament.
Like I said before the tournament, and I keep saying it now, the only way I don't see England winning this tournament is because of the manager. They've got the resources. He just needs to make them click, and I think he's going to struggle. I don't think...
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I do. No, it's not me. No, it's not me. But it's just what I'm just remembering the conversation leading up to this year. It wasn't about attacking. It was about how the hell are we going to stop conceding super amounts of goals. So don't get me wrong. It's all well and good us looking at it thinking, yeah, Phillips and Rice, we didn't. But bro, like, if they're not playing, that's a single pivot attacking Stones and Mings. And are you guys filled with confidence that's going to work and we can still keep clean sheets?
That's the thing.
So it's what do you guys want? Shall we nick goals like here and there and win that way, or do we go out all of attacking and potentially concede a lot of goals going back? That's the catch-22 for me.
It's personally like just a balance. Like for me, my big change that I think Southgate should make is, for me, getting rid of Rice just for the Czech game and putting in Jude and playing Calvin
agreed.
Where he plays for Leeds. Because you watch Calvin Phillips play for Leeds at DM, he's fantastic. And he is great on the ball because he can just pick there and pick off passes. I think if he plays there, you put Jude as your other 8 with Mount. You have to play Grealish. I completely agree with that point. I think he will keep Sterling and Kane because they have been stalwarts for Southgate the entire time. He definitely brings Trippier over James. I disagree with Tosin. Well, no. James did have a bad game, but I think he had nothing in front of him that entire 90 minutes. There was not one little bit of movement there whatsoever. So I think he does bring Trippier in. He probably keeps Shaw in because you're going to go attacking, and then the centre-backs and keeper are going to stay the same. But yeah, I think we need to see Jude. I think he would be build-up play. Horrible. We're the slowest. I think we are like the second slowest team at the tournament right now. We just don't look to break teams apart. We don't look to counter. We don't look to raise the tempo.
Got a question. Sorry, Jake. Do you guys, to everyone here, does England have a style of play? Because I don't think we do.
No, we press. We start off the game pressing really well. Like we start off, like you think of Croatia and Scotland, like first 10, 15 minutes of each half, we have raised the tempo quite well and started off well, but we just dip after that.
Yeah.
Like, the stamina just goes completely. And that was the problem in that against Croatia. What was it? Second half, we scored in the 57th minute. you can afford to drop off then. But against Scotland, after the 60th minute and after the 15th minute, we just stopped playing. We stopped attempting to play, and that allowed Scotland to get into the game, and it allowed Croatia to a certain degree, but Croatia did nothing with the ball, whereas Scotland are built to counter that a little bit more.
Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens when, like I said, we play the final games on Tuesday evening, and we see where England ended up finishing. But we're going to go and review some of the other teams that are obviously in this competition. So we'll go to Tosin's second team, Wales, as Group A has now been finished. Wales have come second, I believe. Obviously, even though Switzerland won, the goal difference for Wales made them finish above Switzerland. So Italy topped the group with 9 points. I mean, what are we saying about Italy, guys? I think some people call them as underdogs. They are just showing that they're on this, man. Shout out Mancini as well while we're at it.
Yeah, they're the favourites, man.
You reckon?
Yeah. I think that no one's playing to that level at the moment. I do think other teams might get to that point. Let's say, if your France's, maybe your Belgiums. I just want to get someone might start playing better. But bro, watching this Italy team, they haven't got any stars, and they're just classy, man. They're such a good team.
You not think that would be the issue? Like when it comes to when crunch time comes, I think that's where it will be the issue. Unfortunately,
do you reckon?
Yeah. Like as a unit, I agree.
They are
as
solid on every position.
I agree.
You haven't even seen Donnarumma being tested like that.
No,
yeah,
I think
they don't even look close to score losing games,
keeper, bro.
Yeah.
30.
I agree. They were one of my favourites going into this, just because of how, let's say, as a unit they look. But then,
wait, who?
Huh?
Who are your favourites?
It's one of my favourites. Italy, one of my favourites.
Because we've got the receipts, boy.
No, I was calling out people who were saying they were bike, blah 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 blah. Anyway, but when crunch time comes, I think that's when it will become an issue. The number 9 of where, the other top teams have a 9 who can go and win them the game. I'm just not sure.
Immobile.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Kenna here. I know
what Kenna's saying, but I just think the way they play, I can see them steamrolling in a lot of teams, man. I think they're very good collectively.
Yeah, I think if they come against a team with a good defense, they might struggle. That's what I think.
Because if you actually think about it, Italy historically, other than probably your Totti's, Del Piero, they've always just have a very collective set of players that is really good. They've never probably had your best player, your best striker in the world, your best player in the world. They've always just had a group of 4, 5, 6 players who are excelling in it. I look at this Italy team, I think, bro, whoever beats these team are going to have to turn up considerably.
From the way they belt their national anthem, you just know they'll smoke.
But to your point, Shalom, you said that coming up against a team who defends well, who in this tournament, which team in this tournament has really defended well aside from Italy?
Holland. I mean, that's a great point. Did Drew just say Holland? Yeah. Move, man. Anyway.
Get out of here, man.
Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
That Ukraine game, boy.
England? Sorry, that one game.
Man said Holland, Move. But yeah.
But so obviously, Italy now top that group. Wales second, Tosin's boys. Gareth Bale, let's shout out him in that game against Turkey, in fact. What a performance from him. People are telling me Ramsey's back. That guy, he missed 3 chances before he scores 1.
Rate Ramsey, man. Rate Ramsey, bro. I don't know why you don't like him so much. I've seen
this guy live in 4K. He's not it, Joe. Yeah. He's not it.
Yeah, I miss his runs. His runs are definitely goated, but he wastes a lot of chances, man. Very frustrating. Very frustrating.
So we're expecting big things there from Calvin's boy, Bell, Tosin's boy, Charles' boy. Maybe there's, as I like to say, there's Bell for Wales and there's Bell for Spurs. We'll go to Group B. I feel they will be playing their final matches on I think it's in the afternoon, Monday afternoon, as Belgium play Finland. So Monday evening, Belgium play Finland and Russia play Denmark. It does look like Belgium will qualify, and it's now between Russia and Finland, or even Belgium. I mean, not Belgium, Denmark, as you know how this third place group thing works. I don't really know, but apart from Belgium, has Denmark kind of obviously what happened with Ericsson, but they should have really been second runners up in this group, no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
without
paper, for sure.
Ericsson, man, they're not doing well. But yeah, on paper,
They've
correct.
been unlucky in games though as well.
Juba FC, bro, will come through, man. We'll come through.
What you thought Russia have always been on job, Kenna?
Yeah, man. Especially at the last World Cup. Bro, I know they had the momentum of it,
They were on
it being
peds,
in
man.
Russia. They're a good side, man. Russia, they're not a bad side.
Nah, Juba, man.
Cuba's an NBA player, bro.
Bro, he looks like a 6'7" guy that works in the factory. After that, just goes play football, but can't, doesn't have any tech. He's just tall as shit and just heads the ball in. To hell, nah.
Yeah, that group is dry, to be honest.
Very dry. But can we just go back to the Denmark-Belgium game? As someone there mentioned, they've been unlucky. They took the leads. But can we just talk about the comeback from Belgium? I mean, when you want to see next gear, that was it. Literally, when you see next gear, yeah. Perez, was that you there about KDB?
Yeah, well, no, it was still on, but I can pick up. I think it's the equivalent of having that like big red button, that big red emergency button that you press when you're in dire need of something. I feel like that's the equivalent of having a KDB on the bench to bring on. Even just looking at Belgium's bench in terms of talent.
They had Witzel as well.
So Hazard to come on. Hazard's cameo was, he contributed. So just to have them weapons off the bench to just come on and turn the game on its head and grab the game by the scruff of the neck.
But I remember that game. I don't know about you guys, but they were just really lackluster. There was just no urgency from them.
I feel they were shocked by Denmark's start, man.
Yeah.
I feel like Denmark started really brightly.
Yeah.
They really did.
And the fans also behind Denmark's back.
Denmark dominated the first half, but I think, like Press said, I feel like Belgium always knew that they had that red button off the bench, and when they needed to turn it up a gear, all they had to do was just bring on the reinforcements. I mean, like what a cameo from KDB, man. 1 goal, 1 assist, left foot finish, just out of this world, man.
Even before that, sorry, Munya, did you see how Lukaku burnt the defender and then just squared it to KDB? He is a beast, boy. I'm so impressed.
He's spazzing.
No, but also don't take don't underplay the little set by Hazard, man. If Belgium can get all these three on the pitch at the same time, it's gonna be so long for any team that faces them, man. So long.
Agreed.
Yeah. Facts. But at the back, they are so suspect, man. And this is why I can't call them favorites. All of them, the whole set, the whole set, man.
When you got Tottenham defenders, joke.
Me opportunity.
The whole set, man. It's so
I just saw Calvin
man loves it. No, they are weak at the back. They're weak at the back, man. But we know this.
I mean, all right. Let me not talk too much. Hey, Andy, Rapping Drew, got the mic, fam. Group C. What we saying with your boys?
Bro, 3 out of 3, man. I know certain hate to see it, but
it's coming home, man. It's coming home.
It's looking likely still.
Pick your side, Joe. There.
The thing is, we might face in that Portugal France group, we might face whoever finishes third there, if they have like the most points out of the others.
I saw your one. So you are playing on Sunday next Sunday.
Yeah.
And the third it says third in Group D/E or F. So.
Yeah. So whoever out of these three get the most points or whatever, we're facing them, man. So it can be that group as well, which will be tight. But I don't know, man. For me, the first game obviously against Ukraine, we haven't discussed that actually, but that was a tight game. We eventually saw that through, man, like Dumfries. And then Dumfries came in clutch again in the second game. And now we've got North Macedonia where we can just, I don't know if we should rest our players, to be honest, but where we can kind of play our B team. And then...
Well, first it's secured, isn't it?
First is secured, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you could always rest your players, man. Like
The thing is, like, if you remember Euro 2008, where we were in a group of death, beat Italy, beat France, and then we had our last game against Romania. We rested our players. We lost that game. Played Russia, got beaten by them as well. So it's a bit tight because obviously players need, like, what do you call it, momentum. Like automation and that. So yeah, now the ball is thinking about it, man.
Just play Dumfries, man. I've got him in my fantasy team. That's all I care about.
but guys, can I note how at the start of this tournament, Drew was like,
I was very pessimistic.
now he's chatting shit.
you even like in the first game, you give him back one in the first game.
Look at the bass in his voice, boy.
I backed Ukraine, man. But bro, they came back. Do you see how wack we were? They came back, and then obviously Dumfries did the thing. Then obviously second game, Matthijs de Ligt came in defense. So now we looked a bit more solid at the back and just saw it through, man.
So I kind of like the look of Ukraine guys. What do you guys think? They look on it.
They got some techie players, man. Good.
So Andy, you saying that momentum is what you're gonna want, and then just hopefully see you guys through this tournament to see how far you can get. And what are your expectations? I don't think I asked you this. Where do you think you guys should at least aim to get minimum?
Before game week 2, my expectations were like literally probably quarterfinals. Now probably the same quarterfinal semis, but I think we need Memphis hasn't played well at all the first 2 games, and we need him really on song because he's the only guy that will make us go final, win it. Otherwise, it's not by Dumfries in it. So we need Memphis to pattern up, man. Because I think at the back we can keep it tight. If the leg stays fit, we can keep it tight with the 3 that we got. But yeah, up front we need to be more ruthless, man.
All right, say no more. Right, straight to Group E. One that's probably been like the most sluggish group so far, man. Like Spain are just deceiving. Like, what's going on with Spain? I think someone made a
That's
good
a snoozefest, man.
Bro, Andy, you made a very good point, and I want to just jump on that straight away. When you're looking at Morata, they've never been able to fill the boots of David.
Bro, the gap is huge. I was watching that game. I'm thinking, nah, like the gap is so massive, and it's like obviously there's other position in the midfield as well, Xavi, Iniesta, of course. But I think like the Pedris and like Koke, they could do a decent enough job. But up front is dire, man. Who have they got from the bench? Ferran Torres, Gerard. What they press? Say Choco Brothers, Gerard Moreno and what's his name? Morata. Come on, man! Like this, bro. I was watching this game. I was just getting vexed. I wanted Poland to win in the end.
Enrique's got blood in his hands leaving Aspas. Aspas isn't great, but he's better than Morata.
He's a spark, man. He's a spark,
bro. Yeah. Morata stinks.
I think when I look at the Spain team, they still keep possession, right? So that's one of the blueprint that we've seen from these Spanish teams.
Chances.
Yeah, but that's the difference though compared to the older teams.
The midfield is calm. It's up front.
Yeah. But even the penetrative pass to actually get the forward players involved, it's not there, man.
Yeah, it's not there.
Like, there's a lot of sideways passing. There's a lot of just dallying in the midfield. There's no penetrating. Man.
That Rodri as well, man. I want to have a convo. I don't think he's lit, man. We got gas. I don't think Rodri's lit at all. I'm just basing this on the tournament so far. He's just a non-factor, man, in that Spain team.
Drew, do you guys see Adama Traore changing this team?
He should play, man.
He should play, definitely. I was thinking the same thing. Like, you just to have a different dynamic, man, a different threat in that team, because the forward players aren't doing enough, man. Like, and I feel like maybe it's a thing where the midfielders don't feel confident enough to play those passes to the forward options that are on the pitch, which is why they don't do it. But if they had like an Adama Traore who we know will run in behind, maybe if they had that kind of threat, they would feel a little bit more confident to try those passes. But I don't know, man. I just think there's something very stale about the Spain team. Very stale.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. And I think someone was just mentioning how they just like to pass. They're getting possession, but just no end product.
what was their possession stat in the first game? Like 80%.
Yeah, they
It,
just
yeah, it was similar. It's similar this game as well, man.
Dead, man.
Let's also move to Poland because boy, we know how good Lewandowski is, but that Poland thing is stinky.
I feel sorry for him, man. Great goal, great delivery, but I feel sorry for him, man.
I don't feel sorry for him at all, man. I feel
Compost.
Once you look at Lever's record, like in previous Euros, previous World Cups, he's actually always flattered to deceive for his country. I mean, so
that's his first goal, by the way. Like in a tournament.
No, it's not. Second. Second.
Is that his second?
Yeah.
No ball.
Bro.
Well,
his record isn't great. So for me, like step up. Do you know what I mean? Because you're the captain.
Yeah, but look at his mates, bro. Like, come on, man. Who else is a big name in that Poland team? No one.
You want to say
who's even a mid name? Yes, the goalie.
Szczesny, but look what he's doing.
Bro, they got a 40-year-old Kamil Glick centre back. Nah, man, that team is poor, man. I feel bad for him, man. No service.
They still have a chance to qualify, as their final game is against Sweden. Obviously, Spain plays Slovakia. Sweden lead the group, so shout out them, man. And their forward, is it Isak? What a player, man. Like, just the composure on the lad. 21-year-olds. He was voted the league's young player of the year. He's just so composed.
Yeah, he did.
Fair enough.
He's got a lot of potential, and
he looks all right, man.
Yeah,
he's got feet.
More than all right, man. Like, he's leading the way. Obviously, Sweden lost Ibra due to injury, but obviously now this guy is turning up. So, yeah, all to play for really in Group E. Spain could miss out, but maybe they might just turn up against Slovakia and get it through. Now. To the final group, yes, and I'm just going to go straight into it so you, man, can just let it rip because I know you want to get out your system. The group of death. Group F, boy.
Yo, we're gonna need that same energy from everyone. Come on, man. Yo, where you all at? Where you all at?
What energy are you looking for?
Let's keep getting excited.
Innit? Bro, you're embarrassing, bro.
Wow, cha.
No, how you guys getting so excited about something?
Thank you for playing. Thank you for playing.
All right, that's what you want to do. But what I want to understand is how I think people are forgetting the concept of this argument. My goat, yeah, he's already delivered on the international stage. Whatever he does is a plus. How can you guys be talking about same energy? What do you mean?
Can we not talk about this? It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter.
If he goes out tomorrow, if he goes out tomorrow? If both players went out tomorrow, what happens? Nothing. And the history doesn't change,
same as World Cup, innit? We cry together, man.
No, bro. Because what's there to cry about? My guy's ready. He's delivered. He's delivered already on international stage.
Listen. Your guy barely scored 2 goals against Hungary. Struggled. Was in pockets the whole game.
Lord, you're just
barely, bro.
Let's not do this, man.
And then the next game got blown out the park by man like Gozens. Scored a goal. Assist as well.
Currently, the Euros joint top goal scorer. He can only do so much.
Small wins, yeah. Monya,
small wins, man.
Monya, keep carry on, man.
Mono, take the wheel, man.
Man, people are moving inside. Anyways, as we all knew, this group was going to be interesting. Portugal got
hand take.
Yeah, ran out the ends, can't they?
Yeah. So
to be honest,
we're all in it. Germany turned up, man, especially after that first game against France. Some people may say they were unlucky against France, but
they were, and this is why I was like, why everyone was back in Portugal? I was thinking, why?
Yeah, I'm so mad because I knew Germany would do that. I knew that.
Germany were decent. Against France.
Oh my God, man, Jesus. Ugh.
Yeah.
But Germany came out on top against Portugal and beating them 4-2. Whilst France as well, let's not forget about France. They just about got a point back. Obviously, they turned up after getting the equaliser. However, I mean, if Portugal are beating Hungary, surely so should France, no?
Man, yeah.
Disappointed, man. Like
Very.
it's the fact they've got every name under the sun on that team.
It's the manager, bro.
That's what I'm
I've been
saying.
I said it even when they won the World
he
Cup.
was shit
The
house.
manager.
Yeah, he doesn't care, bro. He wants to stay in games.
Let's be fair though. Let's be fair. Benzi, Grease, they haven't. And then when Dembele came on, Jesus
stinker.
Oh,
no.
I think Griezmann has turned up. I think he's probably been their better player out of the front three personally.
But it hasn't worked. I don't think it looks coherent with Benzi at the minute. Anyway, it doesn't seem like it's clicking in the same.
To be expected though at this moment. They haven't played with each other in so long. Yeah.
But that's the thing. If Benzi scores that chance, everyone will say, yeah, it's clicking. It's just a game of fine margins. That's it.
Yeah. But that Rabiot on the left wing thing, man, he needs to
Get him out.
Get
him out.
Man.
So what you not saying to Lisa to swap with him? Or
I think he's the only other option, isn't he?
Because they play right now, they're playing 4-4-2 diamond.
Oh, you might as well run Musa Sissoko in there, man. Still talk though, because Rabiot.
He turns up for France, to be honest.
Honestly, Rabiot is dead. I don't know how Ndombele didn't get called up for this team.
Yeah, that is the madness.
Yeah, that's a criminal. Was he no injuries or nothing?
No injuries, just didn't get called, man. He would walk into that midfield.
Surely it can't be that baffed, man. Surely.
Huh?
Surely it can't be that baffed why he wasn't.
I am because let's not make it about Spurs, but he had a good season. Do you know what I mean? So for me, he should have been called ahead of Sissoko. So why not?
But that's another example of he's not ever actually played for France before, has he? Or if he has, he's played very much not
hardly played
much. Sorry, I should say. And I think a lot of national team coaches, they don't go on form anymore, do they? They go on reliability. Like you think of Southgate, he will continue to play Sterling and Kane because they are reliable in his eyes.
It's not like he called Ndombele up into the last squad before the Euro, so it's not like he doesn't know the guy. I think it should win the other way, to be honest. I think he's just probably suffered. They looked at Spurs and they probably thought, no, these are dead, and then he basically didn't get called up. But I don't think it's a case of the manager's just not.
Bro, he just came to do his defensive thing, bro.
Yeah, that's what he does. He
but
just
Rabiot doesn't even do that well. That's the thing.
You guys are blaming the wrong guy, man. Look at Varane. The goal was Varane's fault. You're blaming the wrong guy. Varane was.
I want to talk about Varane, to be honest. Yeah, because I feel like he gets a lot of he gets a lot of blame because he's played at such a high level for such a long time. But if you actually deep it, I've seen a lot of disaster classes from him over the last couple of years. A lot. If we're actually talking Turkey, that City away game, I remember that clearly. He played horribly in that game. And obviously what we're seeing, don't get me wrong, innit? Because he's so good, you always have to take it with a pinch of salt. However, yeah, as Shalom said, he was at fault for that goal. 100%.
Same as Ramos, bro. They love to dunk it up every now and then.
But then now, see, we blame for the fault from him, as Charles was saying. But come on, France has enough attacking power. I mean, I don't want to name names, but if CR7 can score 2 against Hungary, then boy, what's going on with...
Mbappe hasn't turned up. Benzema hasn't turned up. Griezmann.
If France don't beat Portugal, I'm pretty sure they're at risk of going out because I don't think 2 points will be enough. Sorry, no, they beat Germany, didn't they? My bad.
They beat Germany, yeah.
My bad. Okay, that group's a bit of a...
Giroud, that is the solution to their problems. Start that beautiful bastard. And
it's true, to be honest. He plays well for France.
Benzi ain't it at the moment.
Fam, did you see? There was a chance where Giroud came on, yeah? And Mbappe just had to slip him.
Yeah.
That's it. And Mbappe was like, nah, I'm beefing you. And he missed. Bro, it's fine margins, man. If he just slipped him.
Fine margins.
But they don't want to see him shine. They don't want to see him take Henry's thing. So
man, let's not sleep on it. Portugal could go out, man. They might need other things to go their way because if France draw, France are through, right? They'll be first or second. Portugal may need to get a win. Portugal may need to get a win.
Bro,
well, I think they'll go through.
Portugal are playing France about if France draw. Are you
so you're basically saying that Hungary have to beat Germany is what you're saying. Or get points. It's not. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yes or no? Praise has asked you a question. Say yes or no.
No. If France and Portugal draw, then France on 5 points, Portugal on 4 points. If Germany then win, they go on.
Which they will.
Portugal go third, so it's going to be a goal difference thing. I don't see them going out on 4 points. They probably will finish as one of the.
It's no goal difference.
Not,
It's results v results.
Well,
It's goal difference first, then results.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's why they're doing it with the Wales Italy game.
Okay,
Why are
okay.
people so concerned if Portugal is going to go out or not? What
People are
the-
actually-
Let us finish.
They'll finish third, man.
Let's
Oh,
finish
these
third,
Ronaldo
boy.
stands,
Let's
boy.
finish third, boy. Let's
Man
go, boy.
saying Portugal could go out, you know. That's an edge case, bro.
Wow,
Yeah,
We have to properly congratulate Germany, though. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Good game, yeah.
Using Ruben Diaz, best defender in the Premier League for 90 minutes.
No, it's that Semedo, bro.
I'm looking at Rafa Guerreiro. I'm looking at him sideways, man. Like wing backs for Portugal, man. Like League Two level, it was so poor.
No, that's Semedo guy. That was one of the worst performances over a course of 9 minutes.
That's what they
I've seen in a
do.
long
Blame,
time, man.
blame the other players. That's what they do.
Oh my!
God.
So you're holding the person as a
Instead
double
of
goal
Ronaldo
scorer.
to back four.
Bro,
What a
keep quiet,
sickness,
man.
But as much as Semedo was bad, like you have Carvalho and Danilo there, and they did absolutely
Nothing.
Either, man.
Nothing. Yeah, they don't cover no ground. They're just there, bro.
Yeah, Portugal.
Flatter to deceive, man.
They're also a shit ass team, man. To be honest, they love the shit ass.
They looked a bit better with Renato Sanchez coming in, so maybe that could be a change for them. Though they need some thrust, man. Bruno Fernandes dropped a disaster class. We got to say it. He played absolutely shocking in that game.
Thank you for saying it, Cha.
Nah, he did, man. He
I don't
did, bro.
bro.
Say how it is. Say how it is, bro.
What the
He
hell?
played
I said he was
rubbish.
ghost. People, anyway.
Andy, clear your chest, Joe. This is an open space.
Bro, because Tosin was saying, Bruno's been horrid so far in the tournament. I'm like, he's had these performances or these ghost performances in a United shirt in big games as well, you know. Like, this is Bruno's MO. I'm not saying I'm not saying straight out he's a flat track bully. I'm not there yet. But we need to take time, bro. We need to take time with Bruno.
I thought Bruno was like the number 2. He's looking like number 4 right now. He's not even like he's not even been like top 3 best players.
You might remember me saying before the tournament when everyone was talking about Portugal being one of the favourites, and I said Portugal are a very smelly team at the best of times. You know, like if you actually, I've watched a few of their games before the Euros, and they don't play good football. Even Bruno, like flatters his sleeve at the best of time for Portugal. Like they're not a very, very attractive team. What I do think they can do is they can shit house it.
Masterclass against Israel, though.
Yeah, bruv. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Take it with a pinch of salt. I think they can. They're like France in the sense that they can. I don't think they can win games like the odd goal, or the 2 goals to 1, and they'll get through the tournament.
However, with CR, you've always got a chance in it.
Exactly.
That's why I look. That's how I see Portugal.
Jota playing well as well, man.
But Drew, we've got our secret agent anyway, man. Semedo, he'll do the deed, man.
Bro, he's an agent, man. Confirmed.
What sort of defending is that? That's not even like League Two. That's like non-league.
Bro,
defending,
that's
like.
his level. That's his.
The thing is, he's not a right back. That's what people need to realize. He's a right, like he's meant to be a wing back, man. Because there's no way you could be a right back and defend that bad. There's no chance.
Donkey of the tournament, bro. Bloody donkey.
Yeah, terrible, big shit.
Nah, I think as well, blame has to lie with the manager there. I put that in the chat when it happened, but you are offering him zero protection. Like after the first goal goes in, you have to acknowledge that and tell Danilo or Carvalho to shift over so he can get out wider. He was always so narrow. You're just giving Gosens so much airspace. Like the manager has to actually adapt to that. And
I agree.
And you're asking for trouble, and that consistently was Gosens just putting in these danger balls and.
He changed nothing.
Man. See, Strider, we haven't seen you in a minute. So far, obviously, we're into game week 2. How you found the Euro so far?
Yeah, man. Like, obviously, it's nice to come back and football be on the TV. I think there's been some good games, some poor games. Obviously, me personally, I support France, and I don't really ramp with England too tough for a variety of reasons, which I won't go into. But yeah, I think all in all, there's been like some good games, some bad games. I'm just looking forward to the knockouts, really, man, because obviously the groups, they can be boring. So we'll see, obviously, when it gets to crunch, who really turns up.
Actually, everyone, this is open to everyone else. Like, now we've seen some games. Who's standing out for you guys so far?
I think they said earlier, I think Italy.
Yeah.
Italy,
Belgium.
No, and
they're the
players
two
as well,
mains.
sorry. Not just
players.
players as well.
Who's that? It's Italian midfielder.
Locatelli.
Locatelli.
He's
Baller, man.
decent.
And their wing back. What's that wing back? I keep forgetting his name.
Spinazzola.
Spinazzola. Yeah.
Do you know what? You know that Hungarian winger? I think he plays for Freiburg. He's
The one
impressed
that
me.
ripped,
you know?
the one that ripped up Pavard.
He's impressed me because
he was the only decent player.
He's direct.
I've enjoyed what's
he kind of reminds me of Perisic.
I've enjoyed Schick as well from Czech Republic, the striker.
Yeah. Oh, can we? I don't know.
That
goal against Scotland. Jesus,
that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's going to be goal of the tournament easily.
So I mean, I don't think it's going to take a lot of beating to, but that is definitely goal of the tournament so far.
Yeah, but I think as Calvin said, I'm looking forward to Kevin De Bruyne. Sort of, he needs that after obviously the disappointment with City not winning Champions League. I think he needs this sort of thing to sort of solidify his GOAT status. If they do well, I reckon he gets Ballon d'Or.
And I think after him coming on, it's kind of warming up now. So as it gets to the nitty gritty, I think they all kind of expected they were going to get through anyways, Belgium. But when it starts to matter, it's go time. And by the time we record our next episode, we would have been, I think, just played the first round of. Is it round of 16? Or was it straight quarters?
16.
16. Yeah. So man, it's getting to the nitty and gritties. But it's time for them shots, boy. And I'm going to kick this one off because, boy, I think this is from the lads of the VARBAR and the football community. Christian Eriksen, wherever you are right now, please continue to recover, rest up well.
For real.
What we saw that day, I think we'll never forget. The heroics of his teammates and the medical staff. Yeah, just keep getting better, my guy. Killer Kens, what are you telling me?
I think Drew, Tabs, grab our shots, man. We know where we're going for this one. We're going to take it down to Brazil. I'm going to give a shot to our guy, Messi, back-to-back man of the matches in Copa America.
Oh, sorry.
Sitting top.
Yeah, man of the match trophies and that.
I should mention to our VARBAR listeners.
Yo, bro.
Can you take a shot, please? What the hell?
There's no L's across here. We've got a goal, we've got an assist, and we're sailing through to the next round, man. Let's go.
Like that.
Let's back that.
What, in 2 games? 1 goal, 1 assist.
We've got no L's, man. We've got no L's.
Mad.
Fantastic work.
Yeah, for our listeners, we do have a VARBAR after hours around 12 a.m., 1 a.m. if you still want to listen. So, so Ken, sorry, I forgot to mention where we might cover the South American coverage if you're still awake at that time. Char, go ahead, bro. What's your shot?
Ironically, I just want to give a big shout out to Mr. Big Time, Mr. It Never Stops, Mr. Another One. CR7, man, just keeps defining the rules of what football is meant to be and meant to be.
Defying or defining which way,
man. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable, bro. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable. But yeah, man, big shout out to CR7, man. Just keeps doubling down on the numbers.
Say no more. See, Strider, what's your shot, bro?
Yeah, it's just a quick shot of support for Sir Harold. I've seen a lot of stick on socials. Obviously, I want Kane to do well. I live in England. I may not support them, but I feel like the stick he's getting is not deserved. Lack of service, man. R9, Thierry Henry in their prime to struggle to score goals for England. So let's just get behind the best player in England's team.
Tell it, please.
Let's get behind the captain of our country, Harry Kane. Stop with the slander. Stop with he should be dropped and all that rubbish because he will come good.
All right, say no more, my guy. Weisenberg.
My shot, even though I am an England fan, is going to go out to Billy Gilmore. Imagine your first international start is against the old enemy, and all you do is dominate midfield for 75 minutes.
He actually ran it, man.
He looked too comfy, bro.
Even that mountain couldn't get near him, which I thought surprising.
He was disgustingly good, and all credit to him to step up. He got told on the bus on the way to the pitch that he is starting, so you don't even have any prep time. You're literally thrown straight in on the deep end. And he ran the game, and England needed someone to run the game.
Yeah,
He didn't have it. and that's what.
Jake, quick question: Do you reckon he gets into the Chelsea squad next season?
He has to be challenging for it without a doubt. Like, I think it's going to be tough for him because how well Jorginho played under Tuchel, and then how good we know Kovacic can be for us. But you never know, man. You never know. Like, I hope he does stick around. I hope we can get in the game time, because if we can't, then he should be going out on loan and it should be to a Premier League club that wants to play with the ball. Like, if he went to somewhere like Brighton, who would actually play with the ball, he'd be fantastic. Yeah. So I see great things for him, and fair play to him to keep it up, boy.
All right, say no more.
Yeah, but we all know he's not going to be able to show his talent at Chelsea, is he, Jake? Let's be honest. I mean, they don't really get the opportunity, do they, young players?
Well, Mason Mount did and Reece James did. So
they're both English, mate.
That must be the English only. Okay.
Spurs need to set a mid-note, don't they?
I wish Spurs had that talent back.
So do I.
And there's that Chelsea-Tottenham rivalry as always. Prez, what's your shot, bro?
Yeah, just a quick one for Romelu Bolingoli Lukaku, man. I think, I've had my opinions about Lukaku and, his time at United, whatever, but I feel like his maturity as a striker, maturity as a player, and the way he's settled in and is, to a degree leading this Belgian team, in the absence of KDB, who's obviously now come into the fold. But yeah, he's really impressed me so far in this tournament. Drapes in defenders left to right. And he looks like a proper striker, man. And shout out Bolingoli.
Shout out him, man. But yeah, so like I said, when we next listen to us, guys, the groups would have all been finished. We'll be getting into the mix-up with the round of 16s. Teams will be starting to get knocked out. It's just good to have a tournament back in us, man. But yeah, it's been lovely. It's been nice, guys. Thanks for listening. This is the VAR Gang, and we out. Peace.
Peace. In a bit, man.
Hey, Kai.
Looks like they're going to VAR. They're checking.
Hey, Kai.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yo, my peoples. We are back again for another episode of the VARBAR podcast. And boy, we're deep into the Euros. We're doing game week number 2. Obviously, some group stages are now done at the time of recording. What are my people? What are we saying, boys? What are we saying?
Yes, people.
Man.
What's good, man? We back.
Do you know what? Let's not waste time. We're going to go straight into it. Obviously, we had the whole build-up for England against Scotland. What an absolute snooze fest that was, man. And a massive disappointment, I think.
Snooze fest? For me, it wasn't,
It wasn't.
I can't lie.
Bro, you're telling me a 0-0? Like, come on. I got to see goals. I'm sorry.
It was quite a competitive game, though.
Yeah, for me, it was exciting, man.
That game was dry for me, man. Boy.
It was tense as well.
It was only dry for people who wanted England to win without realizing that Scotland are a good team.
Shalom. We watched 90 minutes and it finished 0-0. What's that about?
Now, you wanted England to sweep Scotland. It's not going to happen.
Nah.